大家好，我是 Martin, and this is a Phrase a Day English, brought to you by the National Taichung University of Science and Technology Language Center. Today's episode is about the phrase to avoid like the plague. To avoid something like the plague means to try very, very hard to avoid that thing, something you really, really do not like, and you don't want to be anywhere near it. In Chinese, you could say 避之唯恐不及. So, to avoid something like the plague, you must have an object in that phrase. You have to avoid object like the plague. In case you don't know, a plague is a disease that spreads around everywhere, and European history is famous for a plague in the 14th century. Look it up. Okay, so back to the grammar. I can give you 2 example sentences that will show you how to use the phrase to avoid something like the plague. Example number 1. I avoid doing homework like the plague. Example 2. I avoid stinky tofu like the plague. Okay, so let's review the grammar a little bit. In the first example, I avoid doing homework. In that example, the object is an activity that requires the verb do. When we use a verb like an object in a sentence, we must add ing to the verb, and it becomes what we call a gerund. And that's how you use a gerund. In the second sentence, the object in the sentence is a simple noun, stinky tofu, which you really should avoid because it is terrible. Okay, so I want to know a little more about you. What things do you avoid like the plague? Maybe English class? I hope not. I'll be watching for you. Maybe you avoid doing housework, or maybe you avoid exercise. I don't know. You tell me. Write in the comments section a sentence in English using the phrase, I avoid shima 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 like the plague. The object goes between the word avoid and the phrase like the plague. So tell us in the comments what you avoid like the plague. I'll be looking for it. Thank you for watching. I will see you all again next time. Goodbye.